Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's me, Code, and we're doing another one of those hackering challenges. This one's part of the interview questions kit. It is on string manipulation, and it is called alternating characters. It is pretty simple challenge. Um, yeah, we're basically going to learn some more fundamental string manipulation logic for C Sharp using the foundational system built-in methods and putting our brains to the test. We are also going to learn a little bit about the HackerRank execution environment and the differences between your personal machine and the machines they use to run and decide whether or not your code works or not. So, without further ado, let's get into this stuff and get some more points for our HackerRank profiles. Alright. Alright, so we are looking at alternating characters, challenge on HackerRank in the interview preparation kit. It's on string manipulation, basic stuff, good practice for people that are, trying to prepare for an interview or just trying to learn C# and learn how to manipulate string arrays and do all that stuff. So let's dive right in. You're given a string containing characters A and B only. Your task is to change it into a string such that there are no matching adjacent characters. To do this, you are allowed to delete 0 or more characters in the string. Your task is to find the minimum number of required deletions. For example, given the string s equals AAB, remove an A at positions 0 and 3 to make s equal ABAB in 2 deletions. Complete the alternating character function in the editor below. It must return an integer representing the minimum number of deletions to make the alternating string. Alternating characters has the following parameters: s, a string, and the first line contains an integer q, the number of queries. The next line, q lines, each contain a string s. Our constraints are as follows. For each query, print the minimum number of deletions required on a new line. So that's our output format. Here we have our sample input, and then our sample output, which shows you that there are going to be 5 inputted string arrays, I guess, and the first one is AAAA. Since none of those are B's and it doesn't follow the ABAB pattern, we're going to need to make 3 deletions. That's 3 of the A's, 4 of the B's for this 5B string array. This is ABABAB or a BABABA, so these make 0 deletions, and then with AAA, BBB, we make 4 deletions, which are the 2 B's on the outside and the 2 A's on the outside. Characters marked reds are the ones that can be deleted so that the string doesn't have matching consecutive characters, and then they give you this image that is kind of a guiding, like, what we're going to be doing. We got 3 deletions here, 4 deletions here, blah, blah, blah. Just explain that to you. We're doing this in C#. We only need to be using system because we're using some built-ins. Class solution. We're setting up our basic program here. Static void main. String array args. Alright, cool. So this first variable we'll be setting up is test case count. We are instantiating it as an int parsed from the first line in our console, right? So this reads our input and parses the integer. Then we set up this for loop with a counter I. I will be less than test case count. We want to be going through the test cases. I++. Oh shit, that's a 1 on that. Alright. No, these bars are weirding me out. I think it's int. Yeah. Well, I can catch myself every once in a while. Int deleted letter. Int deleted letter equals 0. This sets the deleted character count, and then just follow along. Alright, so this, we set out 2 variables, next letter, which we'll read in the console, and then the last letter, which equals, pretty much just we'll read through each letter because we're creating this for loop. And then we go on to write this while loop, or it's not a loop, is it? No, it's not. It's not equal to 10, and next letter is not equal to -1. Why do we do this, you ask? Well, there's special handling for the HackerRank execution environment, and I think that, yeah, 10 is ASCII code for the line. They use the \n character for the end of a test case, and then -1 for the end of the file. So we're basically trying to read the line. So while next letter is not equal to 10 and next letter is not equal to -1, is basically saying when it's not, if it's not at the beginning of the line and it's not at the end of the line, then run this program, or run this bit of code, and this next bit of code starts off with an if statement. If next letter is equal to the last letter, then we will add 1 to deleted letter. See where I'm going with this? We're setting up a counter. We're adding to our deleted letter counter, basically. Or else the last letter equals next letter. So this is basically just saying, or else it stays the same, and won't add to our counter. So what does this bit of code mean? Basically, we don't need to see the array after it's been presented to us. What we need to see is the minimum number of deletions that we would need to get in order to get the ABAB array. So when we say last letter equals next letter, in our else statement, we're not adding to the deleted letter count, and we are essentially not doing anything to the output. The output will remain at 0 if this else statement is true for all cases within this for loop, if that makes sense. Yeah, and then after that, we will move to the next character with this bit of code right here, and write our output like that. I know this is going to have some errors. No, it doesn't. Alright, and that is how you do this. Sorry, that one's a little weird. I feel like the most confusing aspect of it is probably when we get into this next letter does not equal 10 or next letter does not equal -1. We are using these statements to basically have our program talk to the HackerRank execution environment. Now, if you were to run this .cs file on your computer, depending on your working environment or your C# environment and how you have it set up, the 10 may not represent your ASCII line code, and the -1 may not represent the end of file, but for the hacker execution environment it does. And this is just really simple code to answer the question and keep it in that first that O1 or ON big O notation test performance. I don't really even know what I'm talking about. This runs and it works, and you can submit it and it'll pass all these test cases, and yeah, we're solving more challenges, and it makes you feel good.